stats came out of the World Cup, last World Cup, 50% of players were abused. And the Women's World Cup, I think it was even higher than that. So I think abuse in football is getting even worse. The trends in abuse we see, I think the highest is racism. I think that's the highest one. Like Marcus Rashford is one of the most abused players on social media. And yet, if you look what he did in lockdown, the amazing things, he got millions of children fed that were in deprived areas. I think he did an unbelievable job for millions of kids in the country, and then misses a goal, misses a penalty at the Euros, and it's all forgotten, and has just horrific abuse. I say not far behind that is the abuse the women get back in the kitchen. Girls shouldn't play football, all this type of stuff. And I think my aim and I feel like my calling, if you like, is to make the world a bit more of a compassionate place and get people talking to each other.
If you can influence other people to come to you on together and support even more people, is I think this is the meaning for me of life, when you have something you can support people, but then influence others to go in the same direction.
How do we do that? I can't meet every person in life and give them a hug and tell them that you need to be nicer to people, because then you get more forgivingness back. You put out what you get back what you put out. Some ideas, let's start on social media. Let's get us all starting a little bit nicer. Go, actually, if I post something a bit more polite to Roberto Carlos, he's actually going to reply, because on our platform he replies with his own video.
A Striver acho que é o único aplicativo que pode... Não, é importante a comunicação profissional com as pessoas no mundo hoje em dia. A Striver, é claro que ela vai bloquear as críticas mais agressivas, mas na verdade é uma comunicação entre profissional e pessoas de casa que vai poder participar, vai poder perguntar o porquê, e automaticamente vem a resposta.
At my time, we didn't have social media, but we didn't have help whatsoever in terms of your feelings, how you feel, depression, mental health issues. We didn't really talk about it. I would have badly struggled with the social media and the access of, fans, in terms of criticizing you, insulting you, whatever, through social media and through other stuff. Because I was very much like that as a young boy, young player growing up. I was caring a lot about what people thought about my performance and thought about me. So I would have found it hard. I've got my son who's 13 who plays for Arsenal, and I'm just trying to block him from everything because I know how much it could affect you.
If you have in your comments and your DMs hundreds of people telling you that I wish you have cancer, DMing you, I hope your children dies, I'm going to slit your throat. You get that once and it's pretty scary. You then get that in a sustained sort of attack. It's a very scary place to be. So I had the idea that if we remove the abuse from social media, the players will come back and actually engage with the fans.
People behind these social profiles, they're probably nice people. That's the mad thing about it. But they've got this suit of armor when they're on these social media pages. That's why I think Strive is so great, because that's going to hopefully eradicate that.
Footballers have agents that post on their behalf. So they have their personal private account and they have their commercial account, I think would be the best ways of calling it, and their agent posts it, and it's exactly the same for everybody. I think we've probably already seen on social media where an agency copies and pastes the comments, the caption in there, and it's basically photo midweek in training, and you can always guarantee it's 3 days before the game kicks off. So 3 days before the game kicks off, tough week of training, been working our butts off and things. And then it's normally the photo on an Instagram story post of the changing room with them and their kit ready, bog standard post, and then the result, and then the post after the game say, tough day, the office will try, we go again next week, bog standard, or great wins today, thanks a lot for all your support. It's all just the same vanilla content. So I think once they can see that actually they can be themselves on our platform, then we have the freedom to express themselves. And the important point that Gilberto talks about, which I always find really interesting, is they can take their voice back.
Quando é muito agressiva, a Striver, ela corta, ela não deixa a parte mais agressiva entrar dentro do mundo moderno. Eu acho que é um aplicativo interessante. Os jogadores, as pessoas, artistas pelo mundo podem se defender de uma possível crítica. Então a Striver, ela ensina, a Striver, ela educa as pessoas. E essa forma de educar as pessoas significa que nós estamos numa evolução muito grande para o crescimento do mundo.
The clubs that don't move very first, who talk about anti-racism and talking about no online abuse, The clubs that are talking about it are going to be embarrassed when they get left behind.